For Us to Be Here. Written by Brother Jim Scrow, narrated by Brother Jerry Morley. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elias. Matthew 17:4. The above was said by Peter on the occasion of Jesus taking Peter, James, and John to a high mountain apart from everyone, where he was transfigured. This occurred shortly before Jesus, quote, endured the cross, despising the shame, end quote, as Hebrews 12:2 tells us. Transfigured is defined as being transformed into something more beautiful or to be elevated. Isaiah the prophet said he would be, quote, as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him, end quote. Isaiah 53:2. But on this occasion, Matthew 17:2 tells us, quote, his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light, end quote. We also know by this scripture that Moses and Elias appeared unto them all and spoke with Jesus. Wonder what they said? Oh well, another blog. What we do know is that so great was the occasion, it caused Peter to want to build 3 tabernacles, one for Jesus, Moses, and Elias. But God cut off Peter and overshadowed them with a bright cloud, and a voice was heard to say, quote, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him, end quote. Matthew 17:5. This statement was made in the Book of Mormon, when the people were gathered at the temple after the destruction on this land. Scripture tells that they cast their eyes upward and heard the voice the 3rd time, quote, behold, my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, in whom I have glorified my name. Hear ye him, end quote. 3 Nephi 11:7. The difference is that the event in Matthew occurred before the resurrection, and the event in 3 Nephi happened after the resurrection. When the disciples heard the voice, they were afraid and fell on their faces. But Jesus touched them and said, quote, arise and be not afraid, end quote. Matthew 17:7. I want to challenge us to get to church as often as we can. Sunday school, MBA, Ladies Circle, Sunday services, midweek meetings, picnics, Zoom calls, wherever and whatever occasion that allows us to join together with the people of God. The Mount of Transfiguration was an outdoor church location for the disciples. The people on this land gathered at the temple. Quote, come ye, and let us go up to the mount of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, end quote. Isaiah 2:3. Something special always happens when God's people get together. There's a special blessing in the fellowship of the saints. Going to church helps us focus on Jesus. Quote, and when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Jesus only, end quote. Matthew 17:8. It will always be good for us to be there. Quote, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am, in the midst of them, end quote. Matthew 18:20. There were only a few people on the Mount of Transfiguration, and 3 Nephi indicates a great multitude. Although our church numbers may vary from time to time, the blessing of God is always there. We can see the heavens open, hear the voice of the Lord, and see the manifestations of God's Holy Spirit. Something special will always come out of making an effort to go to church. We will be there, and Jesus will be there for us. I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people, what a sight just to see all the happy faces praising God in heavenly places. What a thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Now it can just be anywhere, 2 or 3 are gathered there, that the Spirit of the Lord will be there too. There's no fellowship so sweet, there's no thrill that can compete with the thrill I feel whenever God's children meet.